Oh my goodness. Okay. What can I say? Let's go in. Boy, that brings back some memories. Oh, baby. That is so good. All right, today I've got a great new, simple, but delicious soup for you today. We're gonna be doing a chicken and white bean soup. Let me show you what I got going on over here. We're gonna start off with our, what is the traditional name, mirepoix. You've heard me mention that before. Basically just carrot, celery, and onion. That's the base. Okay, so I've got some diced onion, some diced celery, and some diced carrot. About a half a cup, 3/4 of a cup of each, okay? The chicken, this is why I love this recipe. This was a rotisserie chicken I got 2 days ago, finished half of it, put the other half in the fridge, and decided, hey, you know what? I want to do something with this chicken, so I just kind of broke it out and shredded it out, and I'll explain to you other things you can do. I get a question asked all the time about what to do with something. I'll get to that in a minute, but this is a chicken. We've got some white beans, okay? You can find these anywhere in the store in the can, just white kidney beans. We're gonna be using a little bit of diced tomato. I've got some fresh chopped garlic, about 4 cloves, fresh herbs, tarragon and fresh basil, some dried thyme, tomato paste. You know, I always like to put it in the tube. All right, some lemon juice, and of course some chicken stock. Okay, that's basically it. And the whole deal here is that we can have this ready to go in 30 minutes or less, and it is the most delicious soup. If you are into summer soups, or just soups that aren't really thick and hearty, but also just extremely filling and delicious, you're in the right place. So let's get started. We'll get the burner going, and we'll put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil in. And as you've heard me say a million times, the whole key here is developing layers of flavor. So the first thing we're going to do to get that going is we're going to get our carrot, celery, and onions in, because we want to create the base of the soup. All right, and we'll go ahead and also add in our garlic, okay? And the whole deal here is to get these to become translucent. Now, one of the fundamental tricks I talk about in my blueprint ebook is that little secrets like this. If you want to get these to go a little bit faster, and we do want to release the water from these vegetables, that's why they're going to add a little bit of kosher salt. And this will release the water, which will help brown these and add flavor as well. We'll add a little bit of black pepper as well. Little secrets like that really will elevate your cooking confidence. If you're interested in the Blueprint ebook, there's a link in the description box below. Grab your copy. You will not be disappointed. Very good. Alright, now get that. So what's happening here is, as I mentioned before, we're basically just going to get these down to where they're all coming together. It's one layer of flavor. That's the first layer, what we want to develop. And you do that by letting these all come together, sharing all of their flavor profiles with each other, and we're creating one base. Okay? So important to do. All right. Turn your heat down just a little bit. Okay? And now, we're going to add another layer of flavor, some tomato paste. Now, the reason I'm adding tomato paste in this now is because cooking tomato paste takes it to another level of flavor, right? Because it almost becomes like a rustic roast tomato. which takes the soup to another level. Unbelievable. I mean, the difference is incredible versus just kind of adding it in with liquid. By adding it in and letting it roast, it really is tremendous what will happen to your dish. You're gonna have 1 tablespoon. All right. And as you can see, it's really incorporating with all of our foundation, our base. And it's creating an amazing aroma. If you could smell this. All right, we're gonna let this go for about 2 minutes. When we come back, we'll continue to add the rest of our ingredients. We'll add our chicken, we'll get our white beans in there, we'll add our stock. I'm going to show you another little trick that's very, very important. It's going to take this soup up to another level, unlike any recipe will ever be able to tell you. Stay right there, we'll be right back. All right, let's come on in here. I want you to look at this. I want you to see, look how, like, auburn color. That's from that tomato paste roasting in with the vegetables. Oh my goodness, looks so delicious. And you can see it's taking on a whole other flavor profile. That's exactly what we want. Now, let's go ahead and add in our diced tomato. We're gonna use 1 can. Okay. So good. Now, let's add a little bit of our dried thyme. I like the dried thyme in this. About a teaspoon. There we go. Now, if you notice, I added the dried thyme in to cook with these vegetables, whereas I did not add any fresh herbs, which we're going to be adding later. The reason for that is because I want another layer of flavor with the fresh herbs. The perfume and the fresh herbs, if we were to add the fresh herbs in now, by the time the soup finished, they would just kind of be wilty and not have a whole lot of body and flavor to them. So we're going to add the fresh herbs later at the very end, adding another perfume and level of flavor. It's all about the levels of flavor, people. I'm telling you, stick with me here. It is all, that's the real deal. All right, so got that mixed in there now. Now we're gonna add in our chicken. All right, now I want to talk to you about a question I get very, very often, especially when it comes to using rotisserie chicken left over. And the question is, Chef Brian, what about the skin of the rotisserie chicken? What do I do with that? Okay, so there are a couple things you can do, all right? And this is why it's so important. These are the foundations and the properties that you can find in the ebook that I've talked about earlier. Sometimes, if you want to take it a little step further, you can take the skin off, right, which I've done here, but don't discard it. There's 2 things you can do at that point. You can take your skin from the rotisserie chicken, okay, and you can dice it up and put that in with the extra virgin olive oil in the very beginning, because it's a fat, right? It's a fat, and that's going to add actual great flavor as well. That's one thing you can do. The other thing you can do is take that chicken skin, put it on a sheet pan, put it in the oven at about 400 degrees for about 7-10 minutes and get it crispy, and then pull that out and let it dry, and it becomes like a crisp. Chop that up and then sprinkle that on top of the soup at the very end. Another great use for the skin of your rotisserie chicken, okay? So there are some tricks and tips that you can learn. Again, you can find all the foundations of cooking in my ebook blueprint. Link in the description box below. You won't be disappointed. All right, so we've got our chicken here. Now it is crying for some liquid. So we will add our chicken stock. And we're going to probably add about 3 cups. We're basically just covering the top of where the chicken is, just like that. Get this in here like this. I mean, I know you can already see this is just ridiculously good. I mean, like, are you kidding me? Okay. And now I'm going to add a little bit of kosher salt and some black pepper. We're going to let this go for about another 3 to 5 minutes so this can develop another layer of flavor. Again, bringing all of these ingredients into one, which is the key to great cooking. So when we come back, we will take a taste, check our flavor profile, make sure we're on point with our seasonings. We'll add our beans, and then we'll get to the last step, and then we'll have a taste. Be right back. All right, let's come in here. It's been about 4 minutes now, and you can see how this chicken is just kind of made its way in with all the other goodness in there. Oh my, wow. So what I want to do now is, this is the proper time where you want to check your flavor profile to make sure that you're on point. Okay, you want to, seasoning is everything, okay? And a lot of people, when they're cooking, they just think, okay, I'll follow this recipe or I'll do whatever. Look, recipes do not teach you how to cook. They're just a guide. So you've got to learn the foundations and the basics, and then taste, and see where you are in the flavor profile. Because it's going to change as the heat continues to cook. Everything's going to change, right? Layers and layers and layers of flavor. So let's see where we are. Oh wow. That is really, really good. That is unbelievable. So at this point, we're gonna add what I call kind of a secret ingredient, but I have an even more secret ingredient that's gonna really take us to another level. But this lemon juice really does do something to this whole soup. And I think it has, to me, it has everything to do with the white beans, right? When the white beans come in, when you add a little bit of acid, okay, we have the tomatoes in there, but this really takes it and brings it all just up to a whole nother level. So we're gonna add a teaspoon, it's all you need. Okay. And then we'll add our white beans. All right. Get this going. Wow. Does that look spectacular or what? All right. So now we're gonna let this go for about another 10 to 12 minutes because you really want these beans to get immersed in all the other goodness in there. And then we will finish this up with our fresh herbs. And then another little secret trick I'm gonna add at the last minute. We'll take another taste and then we'll finish it up. Be right back. All right, I want you to come see this. Look at the bubbling coming out. Everything's coming together nicely. So this is exactly what we want right here. Look at this. These beans are just taking all that beautiful fiber, amazing flavor. It's getting sucked in by that beautiful broth. All the layers of flavor from the lemon juice to the carrot, celery, onion, and the garlic, the diced tomato, the tomato paste that was roasted. We're talking about something really special here. Oh my goodness. So at this point, once you've got it coming to this like boil, you don't want it a rumbling boil because it might scorch on the bottom, so you gotta be careful. So what we'll do now is we'll turn this down to a really, really light simmer, and then you can actually almost turn it off. And at this point, we're gonna add some tarragon. Now I wanna tell you something. This is truly a trick I learned when I was actually living over in Italy, and I never would have thought that an herb like tarragon in a soup like this would be so phenomenal. So I am sharing something with you right now. It has been my secret go-to for so many of my dishes, and I promise it'll become one of your favorites too. A lot of people say, oh, I don't like tarragon. It depends on what it's in, and it depends on how you put it in. So putting it in at the very last minute like this and letting that perfume get in with the soup makes all the difference in the world. And we're going to also add a little bit of basil. And we're going to tear this basil just like this. I'm saving some basil for the very, very end when we plate this up. And I will show you and tell you why I'm doing that as well. But right now, we just want to get this in here. And again, the burner is off now, but these herbs, because of the residual heat that's still in this pot, they're going to give off their flavor, but they're not going to lose their flavor because the heat is not going to just totally burn them out, if that makes any sense to you. All right. So now, one more taste. See where we are in the flavor profile. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. That is phenomenal. Wow. Those herbs are really coming out good. Really, really nice. I am going to add another teaspoon of kosher salt. And the same with the black pepper. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. All right, when we come back, we're gonna bowl this up. We're gonna take a hearty couple bites of it to see where we are. I'll show you how we finish it, and you're on your way to some amazing chicken in white bean soup. Stay right there. All right, here we go. Been simmering for that last 10 minutes just to get everything coming together. And let's go ahead and bowl some of this up here. As I mentioned before, when I was living over in Italy, I remember I was over there, it was my first couple of days, and this was served to me at lunch with a nice, beautiful garlic crispy bread to die for. Oh, and I've never forgotten about just how delicious this is. So there we go. As you can see, that looks unbelievably spectacular. And just to make sure that we know we are living right, we'll put some fresh basil like this. The reason I'm doing basil twice, as you know, we did one at the very end of the cooking process, which allows the flavor to come out and add, and then this gives a raw flavor, which just completely and totally changes the whole game as well, which is exactly what we want. And then at the very last minute, when I was sitting down, getting ready to take my first bite, I never forget, a guy came up to me, it was the server, and he looked at me and he says, kind of like, wait, before I took, and I was like, oh, okay. And he said, I've got one more thing to add. And he took a nice block of Parmigiano Reggiano, and he took my bowl, right over my bowl like this, and he just went, look. And this is what just put me over the edge. I was like, oh my goodness. Okay. What can I say? Let's go in. That is so good. It is so good. I cannot tell you. If you really want to make a soup, now look, this probably cost, I don't know, less than $10 for everything. We use leftover rotisserie chicken. I mean, it's economical, like beyond belief. And then we've made so much. You could freeze this. This could serve a family of 6 easily with some crusty bread. Like I said, that is such a great meal for lunch or dinner. Or even in Italy, what they do is like 10 o'clock in the morning, you know? I mean, literally, they have beautiful bean soups like this that they just fill you up throughout the rest of the day. It's spectacular. I am so happy you joined me for this video. I'm also very, very excited about all the people that are jumping on the channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So happy to have you here. And here's another great recipe for you. Chicken and white bean soup. We finish it off with some fresh basil and some Parmigiano Reggiano. It's all right there for you, and it is spectacular. I cannot wait to see you all right back here on the next video. I am Chef Brian. Remember, until next time, eat well and stay healthy.